Welcome to the Predictive Playbook powered by Sportsmemo TV. I am your host, John Ryan, and this is going to be a great show because in the house with me today is one of my favorite Sportsmemo handicappers in Joe D'Amico. But I want to first, before I formally introduce him, I want to go over what we learned from yesterday. And what we learned yesterday was that the NBA results, I'm hearing an echo. I apologize.
It's okay.
Let me figure this out real quick here.
It happens.
This is nuts.
It's always something.
All right. Oh, man, I can't figure out which one it was. I apologize for this, sports
That's
fans.
all right.
We want
That's
the
all right.
quality to be good here. We want the quality to be good. So, all right. So here we go. Let's try this now. So in the NBA, where we were just talking, the NBA playoffs, home favorites of 4.5 or more points went 14-8 against the number, 16-6 straight up in round one. And believe it or not, round two now, they're 4-0-0, and ATS ends straight up in round two. And historically, round three gets a little bit less, but it's still a profitable situation. So keep that in mind, folks, when you look at the cards. Some of these things should pop out right away as a possible betting opportunity to consider and research. And I know this isn't to rub your Yankees the wrong way, Joe. This just happened to happen on yesterday. There's one team in Major League Baseball now that has a winning record against the Yankees as a franchise. And unbelievably, it's the Philadelphia Phillies. They're now 18-17 after winning both games over the weekend. And that probably the next time the Yankees play, then they'll probably take some revenge too. So it might be back to where it was. But I do think it underscores the issues and some of the anomalies that this Yankees club is enduring. They're still above 500, but now the starting pitching is only averaging 4 innings per start. And it just seems, Joe, like a team that has 9 guys in the lineup that are all underperforming at the same time, which I have not seen in any database query I've run in 15 years.
Sure.
So welcome to the show, and I would like to hear your thoughts on the Yankees. And I think they'd be a great bet to win the AL East right now, given their troubles.
I would agree with you. It's not because it's from my heart. I bleed Yankee blue. I mean, you cut me open, I got pinstripes underneath. But I will tell you, John, this is a very competitive division. Right now, it's the only division in baseball that has 4 winning teams. I think we could throw out Baltimore altogether. We didn't expect much from them, and they've underachieved even that. But the fact of the matter is that Tampa Bay has had the Yankees number the last 2 or 3 seasons, and they played Tampa Bay several times this season. Yes, the Yankees have a big payroll, and their lineup is not really paying off. Their pitching was doing well, but then I think it got a little tired. I think the pitching, and now it's not lasting as long. You mentioned they're going 4 innings as starters. But that's going to happen in a 162-game season. We're going to see things like this happen. Will the Yankees be a pennant contender? Absolutely. I remember you and I spoke a few weeks ago. You had asked me, should Dodgers fans be worried because they were slumping pretty badly? San Fran and San Diego were both ahead of them. And I said, no, the Dodgers will be there in the long run. Cream rises to the top. But you got to understand, during an NFL season where you got to play 17 weeks across 16 games, across 17 weeks, a college football campaign, 12, 13, 14 games, a team could lose and still make the playoffs in one, or a team could lose 1 game. I mean, college football playoffs, if you lose 2, you're kind of in trouble. You're not going to make the college football playoff. But, in the baseball season, even compared to NBA, in a baseball season, it's 162 grueling games, and it takes its toll on teams. And the Yankees are always going to be under a microscope because, let's face it, you either love the Yankees or you love to hate them. But they are – the one thing about the Yankees, and I think this is very good for all of sports, particularly baseball, when the Yankees go on the road, teams that don't normally sell out sell out. That's what the Yankees do for people, for community, for sports, and for baseball. They're under the gun. They're under a lot of pressure to win. Do I think that they're out? No, by no means. I mean, we have 65 games, give or take, already gone. So we got about a little more than a third of the season is gone. And I think there's a lot of baseball to be played left. But I do think that some of these divisions are shaping. I don't think you can count any of the top 4 teams in the AL East out of it yet. I think you count out Tampa Bay, Boston, Toronto, and New York. I do lean towards Tampa Bay and New York in that division. But I think some of the other divisions are a little more cut and dry. The American League East, guys, it's a black and blue division. It's always the most competitive in baseball, and this year is going to be no different.
Oh, I love it, Joe. I love the breakdown. I knew you always had the best information on the Yankees and, best information overall, too. It's just the Yankees is a real passion of yours and really good stuff.
Thank you.
So let's talk about some of your recent hot streaks, too, because they have been outstanding and deserve to be noted.
Thank you. I'm on a great one. The people over at Sportsmemo, they're just wonderful. They've given me all the support in the world. Last 3 days, 5-1. Last 7 days, 11-5. These are documented numbers, folks. My baseball's on a 6-1 run, 28-11. My last 39. My baseball season documented, just under 56%, 48-38-1. We're 10 units up. NBA season is once again 55% to be this far into the playoffs and still hitting 55%, 79-64-4, 15 units up. Very excited about everything. Yesterday alone, John, I had 2 5-unit releases. The great folks over at Sportsmemo, up until about a month ago, a 5-unit release or a 5% release is their highest rated. They now implemented 10-unit releases, but I put out 2 5-unit releases, one in each sport, one in both. We swept the board yesterday for the second time in 3 days. I'm running red hot. I've been on the leaderboards of both NBA and MLB for 3 months now. I'm very excited about that. Some of the highest winning percentages in both for the entire season. Very excited. Over at Sportsmemo, they're doing a lot of great stuff. I know that we got a 7-day all-access pass. JD99 upon checkout. You put that in there, and you'll get 7 days of all my plays. I almost say college football. How about that? Baseball and basketball for $99. I also have the rest of the NBA just for $99 upon checkout. NBA 99, you get the rest of my NBA plays for just $99. Very excited. The support we're getting from Sportsmemo, it's just amazing. I've been in this business, geez Louise, for 40 some odd years, but for the last about 20 that I've been contributing to websites, I haven't seen support and cooperation and professionalism like I see with the folks over at Sportsmemo. They're just unrivaled.
Yeah, I can't agree more, Joe. That's definitely singing to the choir, for sure. Before we get to your free pick, let's hit this little NBA situational trend I found. I just wanted to share with everybody. And this has to do with Mike Conley and whether he plays or not. And it's pretty self-explanatory. And there is a promo code on the side here that you can use in some of my recent streaks. And, humbly said, I believe Joe and I are probably the 2 hottest guys running over there at Sportsmemo. I lost the 10-unit play on the Nets yesterday. Kyrie Irving coming out and getting injured certainly didn't help that cause, but these things happen. But still hitting 80% over the short term on an 8-2 run, and things are. We're both seeing the card really, really well. So if you do anything, buying both of us on any of these promos would be, I guess, in my humble opinion, a very smart thing to do. I know I'm proud of what I've accomplished, and so is Joe, and I'm proud of Joe too. So the NBA situational betting angles. This is games that Mike Conley did not play. There was 9 road games in this season, 4-5 against the number, which doesn't tell you very much, but 6-2-1 over. Then they 10-5 against the spread record, 13-2 straight up, 10-4-1 over in home games this season when he was not playing, and since March. 1-5 straight up, which is not good. Small sample size though, but they're over again, 5-0-1. So I think this is creating a lean at least on the over for me tonight in the Clippers versus Jazz game. set for tonight at about 10 o'clock. But then again, we have that Sixers game coming up. But we'll leave that for the Manny's Pub show later today, which we can then spend a good 45 minutes digesting that thing. But let's move over to the free pick now. I'll give you the game, Joe. And I'm really intrigued by this pick when you sent it over to me. It is the 10:10 Eastern Standard Time start with the Twins at the Mariners. The Twins are 26-39 and really just can't get out of their own way.
Mm-hmm.
The Mariners also a losing record, but only 3 games under 500. Marco Gonzalez 1-4 with a 5.45 ERA will be on the bump for the Mariners, and Kenta Maeda, who is 2-2, also with a pretty lofty ERA, 5.27, pitching on the road at T-Mobile Park in Seattle, Washington. Minnesota is a minus 135 favorite, and the over-under total is 8 runs. So take it away, Joe, and tell us what you see here that's really attractive to make a bet.
John, I want to go into that in just one moment, but I would like to say the respect and admiration I have for you personally and the transparency that Sportsmemo shows. Talking about a game, a big game that you had that didn't come in is really important. And folks, you listeners out there, let you know the respect and admiration you should have for John Ryan. John doesn't have to tell you about his losses. He could just tell you he's 8-2 his last 10. He told you about a big game loss. There's a reason for that loss, too. I mean, if Kyrie Irving was in and he lost, it's another story. But still, the transparency, show John the respect that he deserves, man. That's not only a gentleman, that's a real sports handicapper. You know, he came out, he told you about his loss right away. But I'll tell you what, you could bet everything. I'm going to go and bet John's next 10-unit play because I know he bounced back like the champ he is. Let me tell you about this game,
much,
John.
Joe.
Oh, come on, John. It's the truth. You're the host here, and it's tough to toot your own horn, but your horn needs to be tooted. And here in Vegas, we pay double for that. Anyway, now listen, I want to tell you, today's free winner, just because teams aren't pennant contenders, say that 10 times quickly, doesn't mean there isn't gold in them. There are hills. And the matchup today, as John mentioned, between the 4th and 5th place team is where today's gold lies, guys. Both Minnesota and Seattle had high hopes for this season, and to say they've underachieved is an understatement. However, for betting purposes, today's matchup is ideal. Both lineups are accounting for between 4 and 4 3/4 runs per game, while both teams are yielding over 5 runs per game every game. John mentioned the starting pitchers, Kenta Maeda. Once again, say that 10 times quick. Kenta Maeda, 2-2 with a 5.48 ERA this season. Guys, his last 6 starts, all of those games have gone where? Over the total. Marco Gonzalez, what a nightmare. 1-4 with a 5.45 ERA this season. Guys, he has been an absolute go against all year. His last 2 starts, he couldn't get past just 4 innings pitched, and in both, the bullpens got lit up after they came in to relieve him. The over is 7-1 the last 8 meetings between these two teams. 16-4-1 the Twins' last 21 versus lefties, and 4-1 the Mariners' last 5 overall. Over 8 between 2 crappy teams, and they are crappy teams. I'm not saying anything bad about them. I like the Minnesota Twins. I think there's a lot of talent on them. There's some talent on the Seattle Mariners, too. I'm not putting down the cities of Minnesota and St. Paul, or am I putting down Seattle, guys? There's talent on these teams. They're just not getting it done overall. They're playing very tougher competition this season. But there's going to be a lot of runs scored in this game. You got 2 less than stellar pitchers with 2 teams that are banging the ball around. And let's face it, their bullpens, both bullpens have gotten crushed this year. I like the over here, John. I like over 8. 7-1 the last 8 meetings in this rivalry, and both teams are hitting the ball. It's just the fact that their pitching staffs and bullpens have gotten lit off. The opponents are just crushing the cover off the ball. Go over 8 in this Minnesota-Seattle matchup. You'll take your bookmaker's money.
I'm going to the window on that one, Joe. You convinced me. I'm going to at least put maybe double pizza money on that one, maybe more, because it just is so logical. You have 2 pitchers, like you said, struggling. And it's easy to understand why that is a betting opportunity, and that's what makes Joe's picks good. You not only get the transparency, like he, so eloquently stated just a few minutes ago, but you also get the reasons why you're taking your hard-earned money and betting it based on someone's research, and that's what is really, really important. And
You know, John, when you're sick, you go to a doctor. When you, God forbid, have legal problems, you go get a lawyer. You don't take out your own appendix, and you certainly don't defend yourself in court. And that's the thing, sports fans. When you want sports betting information, I have myself, John, and the other great cappers over at Sports Memo and Wager Talk. Guys, we have the background, the resources, the time, the connections, and we have the savvy, guys. Listen, I have a guy that's been helping me with investing since maybe the last 30 years. He's a genius. I don't just go, oh wait, Coca-Cola, let me put in money on let me put money into Madison Square Garden, IBM, Apple. I go to somebody who advises me on where I should do that. But I'll tell you what, and he's the VP of the biggest firm in New York on Wall Street. When he wants betting information, he comes to me because people like myself and John, we have the background, the time, guys. While most people are sleeping, we're awake. We're doing the numbers. We're doing what needs to be done. John, I have 3 cars in my garage. I have a 1-year-old Maserati. I love that baby. I love everything Italian. Everything small, fast, and Italian like me. I have a brand new Cadillac, and I have a 72 Ford Mustang Mach hatchback. And I've got to tell you guys, I know where the gas goes, and that's about it. But when I have a car issue, I go to a mechanic that I trust. Don't do your own homework. You don't have the background. You don't have the resources. You don't have the connections. You don't have the savvy. I see every day, John. I go to the Vegas casinos every day, 7 days a week. I go in there. I go to the sports book, and I see mostly people that are losing day to day. Yes, people could have a good day, maybe even a good run. But over the long term, man, guys, you've got to go to somebody that has the background and the experience and the savvy. This isn't something you learn in college, although I'm not putting down a college education. It can't replace an education, I'll tell you that. But I will tell you, you go to people that are good at this, like the documented handicappers over at Sports Memo. Go to John. He's hot as a firecracker. Go to me. And if you don't go to us, go to some of the other handicappers, some of the other proven documented winners right now at Sports Memo.
Yeah, I love it, Joe. Absolutely love it. So I think that's about it for our show today. But I want to mention one thing. These 3-day passes that come out, and they're not only promoting us. They're promoting us because we're on a pretty good run. So for $29, you can get 3 days, and that's less than $10 a day. And the way I put it, Joe, it's a little bit more than one IPA. And most people, I would think, drink 2 or 3. So just do without for one day. And get some really good winning information and research and start learning some of the stuff that we've been looking at for upwards of 25 plus seasons. So with these promo codes, make sure you use HOT29 and Joe, yours was JD 99, I believe, right?
JD, I think NBA 99 for the NBA.
Yep.
Package for 3 days, and then you gave me a promo today. You were nice enough to give me a promo today on a 7-day program. Was that JD 99? JD 99 7 days
for 7 days, all access, and even that is roughly $12 a day. I mean, you're just not going to find this kind of elite research and winning picks anywhere else. And that's
John, unless I go to a Boulder Highway strip club, I can't even get a lap dance for $12. And for those people that have never been to a Boulder Highway strip club, you know what I'm talking about. The girls have free teeth. They're like 75% lap dances. No, I just guys, when you break it down, these programs, these 3 days and these 7 days, they really are saving you money, and I think you would agree that saving you money is just as good as making you money. Take advantage of these. Dip your toe in the water before you dive in. By all means, you don't have to take a whole season from Joe D or John Ryan. Take a 3-day, take a 7-day. Trust me, we'll make a believer out of you.
Love it. So with that said, we're going to end this edition of the Predictive Playbook powered by Sportsmemo.com. Make sure you get over to Sportsmemo.com and look up under experts in the navigation bar. Very easy to find us. Get on Joe D'Amico's special deals. I promise you'll be glad you did. And get on mine too. I'm seeing the card well, and I rarely say that because I hate hyping, and I hate saying something that I really don't believe 100%. So on behalf of Sportsmemo.com and WagerTalk.com and Free Picks TV, May all the wins be yours.